Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Martin. For those of you that read my bio on the event page, you know me very well by now, so I don't need to say too much. For those that didn't read it, Chris has your names, we're not happy, and we will be hearing from us. So briefly, I grew up in Seven Kings. I went to Aston University in Birmingham to study transport management. One of the joke courses at the university, which meant we had lots of free time. So lots of time wasted in the snooker halls and in the student union. So perfect course, really. I joined the shipping industry and then spent 13 years at Royal Mail, got bored and bought a leaflet distribution franchise, which, as you know, I now run with my wife, Carol. The attractive and intelligent of the two is how she always describes me. We have two kids, both like running, and I like almost every other sport too, when I get a chance to watch it on the telly. So today I want to talk about the do's and don'ts of leaflet distribution, and I will get my slideshow on. Right, hopefully everyone can still hear me and still see that. So do's and don'ts of leaflet distribution. There is a little quiz that I'm going to do as we go. It's not loads of things, but take a pen and paper, and there is a prize for the winner. So that should make some of you planning to listen but do other work feel a bit more engaged. I haven't got along, so I apologise if it's a little bit rushed, but there'll be time, I hope, for some questions at the end. So make a note of them, write them down along with your answers to the quiz as we go. So why still do door drops? Is it out of date? Is it something that we don't need to worry about now that everyone gets their information on a little screen? Well, here's some of the answers. Still, 80% of the UK's top advertisers use door drops. I won't read all of that, but as you can see, 87% of consumers remember door drops compared to just 35% of people remembering emails. So, first question, what percentage of consumers like getting door drops that involve, sorry, and I'm just moving you because you're in my way of what I'm reading, like getting door drop product samples, vouchers and offers, what percentage? And obviously being kind, I'll give you 5% either way on the answer to that. And this is not my research, by the way. I haven't gone out and asked 10 of my top customers. This is independent research done by the DMA and Royal Mail and other such companies.
So I'm gonna hazard a guess. Oh no! Oh, are we not guessing? All right, we're not
Chris,
guessing.
if you listen at the start, you please write down your answers and we'll go through them at the end. Okay, so let's start at the top and we'll look at design. Now, we offer design, we offer print. You have to do neither with us if you don't want, but we'll go through the process from the start. So these are ideas of how not to design. The one on the left, far too boring, no pictures, no offers, there's no call to action. The one on the right looks cheap. Again, it's far too wordy, has not been thought through properly or laid out at all professionally. This is not the sort of thing that you want going through your door representing your company. This is more like it. Straight away on this page, all of your eyes are darting around to the pretty colours, the nice pictures and the offers of things you didn't know you even wanted. All of these leaflets have been designed, apart from the Love Heart one, they've been designed by us working back and forth with the customer until they're 100% happy with their design. That's the service that we offer. We know what works on a leaflet. We've got good designer, and we don't want to put anything out there with your company's name on it that's not going to work as much for you as it is for us. Printing, surely any old print will do, any old paper. Well, that's not really the case. You need to have a little think about it. Would you invest money in a pension company if they sent you through some really thin paper that they've scrimped and not invested in. I don't think you would. Obviously, if you choose not to print directly with us, that's fine, because there are some great local printers around, which we work very closely with. You can still get it delivered straight to us. Take away all your delivery slot and storage worries. There's a myth that printing is bad for the environment, and oh, I don't want that, and you're chopping down trees. Well, yes, you chop down trees to make paper, but if you've read that fact at the bottom, which is quite an astonishing fact, you know, you're actually doing some good when you buy paper. So, you know, helping plant the trees, and not everything we do in this to this world is bad. You know, we're growing the forests thanks to you guys buying paper. Okay, so onto the distribution side, the main thing that we do. There are some companies that charge just £20 to £30 to deliver 1,000 leaflets. We recommend against using these companies because somewhere along the way they will use methods like this. Scruffy teenagers, guys in a van sent to an area they don't know with a scattergun approach and an old A to Z. In order to make a profit, they won't be able to deliver all your leaflets. So some of them will end up in a nice untidy pile somewhere floating down the River Ron. Or they'll be rushing so much that they're putting multiple through the door and leaving them sticking out, one of the bugbears of the residents. We do not leave leaflets sticking out the doors because it just screams no one's home. If you get delivered by us, this is a sort of friendly face you may well see out and about. We've known Michael for over 3 years, and he loves, and that's not an exaggeration, he loves delivering. Chats to people while he's out and about. Most of our people are like Michael. They want a couple of hours work to do, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, just to get a bit of exercise, get paid for doing it, and enjoy what they do. You know, they're considerate, they're not rushing around trying to make quick money and cutting corners and jumping fences. You know, we're proud of our post people who we employ, and you know, me and Carol will try to catch up with all of them every week just to check in, see how they're going. Okay, so in terms of where you're delivering to, going back to the company charging peanuts, in order to make money, they will deliver to pretty much anywhere. It won't necessarily be the best place for you to deliver. For example, if you're a roofer, you don't want to be going to blocks of flats like these on the left. That's a complete waste of your money. Question 2 in the quiz: where are those blocks of flats? There's a clue. It's in Havering. That's not much of a clue, obviously, but where are those blocks of flats? And question 3, as well as roofers, can you think of any other business that won't do very well if they concentrate their delivery on flats? And that's nothing to do with, you know, the person's disposable income that might live in the flats. It's more to do with the physical living in flats. So write down a business that you think does not really want to go to flats. Question 4, and yes, we've got lots of questions on this slide. Can you name the foreign city on the right-hand side from the satellite image? It's probably far too far away for your business to want to deliver to, and it's going to be a little bit too hilly for our post people too, probably even hillier than Collier Row. And again, the little picture of bungalows at the bottom, you know, it's not a good target market for stairlift companies. So these are things that probably won't be thought about if you're paying £20 to £25 a thousand with the other companies. What we can offer targeted marketing. This is information that we can provide to the customer to make sure that you are targeting the highest proportion of your target market. So don't settle for anywhere. We can offer this demographic information. This particular slide is information that we'd sent to a Jewish bakery. They were looking to target the higher Jewish population areas in Loughton for their Woodford bakery. just to try and branch out a little bit more on their deliveries they're doing. As you can see, the left-hand side of Loughton has got a high percentage of Jewish population compared to the Debden area, so that's where we focused their leaflet drop. With this slide, this shows families with any dependent two or more dependent children, aged with the youngest age between 0 and 4, and we provided this information to a nursery that was setting up in Hornchurch. So as you can see, the redder area here on the right hand side, Emerson Park, very low percentage of people with young families, because people have not made their money to move to Emerson Park by the time they're 30. So we kept away from Emerson Park and kept it into the areas that are a bit more yellow and a bit more green, people with the younger family. This one shows mean house prices from 2018. So house prices are not just useful for estate agents or partners who love going on Rightmove. Yes, Carol, I'm looking at you. They do allow companies to find areas, people with higher expected disposable income. So if you're selling a higher end product or service, you're better off targeting Gidea Park as opposed to Harrow Hill or the centre of Collier Row, as shown by this map here. Again, not saying that people in Collier Row won't buy the high-end services, but to maximise your chances, you want to focus more in the darker, more expensive house areas. Okay, so if you run a delivery service or you have a base that you don't want to travel too far from, it's good to know your numbers and the market that you have within those areas. So these are radius household maps that we ran for the YMCA when we first started working with them about 3 years ago. It shows that within a 2-mile radius of the YMCA, there are 59,200 households. And I know what you're thinking, you haven't had a question for a while. So question 5, if there's 59,200 households within a 2-mile radius, the map on the right shows a 2.5-mile radius. How many households are there within the 2.5-mile radius? And I'll give you 5,000 each way on that one. Again, being the generous person that I am. Knowing the numbers, knowing the target market that you have allows you to budget and plan your campaign or campaigns more effectively throughout the year or even further ahead. These next slides will show you a little bit more about what we do on the day-to-day job. How do we ensure that the leaflets are delivered properly? They're quite wordy. I'm not going to read through all of them, but all of our people get a map, proper map, with boundary roads that they only do one side of, proper instructions, and know exactly where they're going. On the back of that map, to every person every week, there's a report form. On that report, how many have you delivered to? What roads have you delivered to? Where haven't you delivered to? Particularly important for upcoming elections, when you've got campaigners that might not get a leaflet come through their door because there was no access, or they couldn't get into flats, or there was a dog barking that they didn't feel comfortable delivering to. So we'll make a note of all of them every time our people go out. How do we train our deliverers? We don't just stick them out there with a bag and our leaflets. We spend at least an hour with them on the phone at the moment. Before, I was allowed to visit people's houses, but now it's all done on Zoom, and we go through about 45 minutes to an hour of training. This is what you do, this is what you don't do. They get given a detailed instruction document about what to do, what not to do, how to use the GPS tracker. And they sign a legally binding contract saying that they're not going to subcontract to their 15-year-old son, and they're not going to give it to someone they might know that wants to help them on the round. That's not the idea. They do it, they've been trained, they've got the tracker. As mentioned before, people have got all week to deliver, and we give them average of about 1,000 letterboxes to deliver to during the week. So we monitor distribution by putting our own leaflets out on every round, unless the customer specifically wants to go out on their own, which not many do, but some do. We put our own leaflets out with every round. That's how we advertise our business. but we also find our post people that way. All of the responses to these leaflets are monitored on a daily basis, not just by ourselves locally, but by head office as well, at door to door. The main way we monitor distribution is through tracking. We individually give our people GPS tracks. We don't track that bad van that comes into the area and people jump out and go anywhere. All of our people carry an individual tracker. It tracks them every 3 seconds. You can see them, as you'll see on the next slide, walking up to every front door. So they can't just walk down the road and give us good GPS tracking. Here are genuine examples of our actual local GPS tracking. Very neat patterns. If you're interested, and this is not a quiz, if you're interested, then the left is Collier Row, the top of Collier Row. Top right is some roads near Clayhall. As you can see, all the houses have their doors on the right hand, on the side of the house, which is why the walks up to the doors are so long. And bottom right is Chingford. Okay, this is your tiebreaker question, a question of distance. This is Heather Close in Rise Park. The close itself is 160 metres long, and our post person has delivered to all of the 31 houses. It took them around 16.5 minutes. How many metres have they walked here in total? So up and back and delivering to all 31 houses. Take a guess, and because it's your tiebreaker, just write down your answer, and we'll work out who's closest should we need it. Okay, a few things just to finish off. Most leaflet distribution companies will charge you for a collection. We will charge for free, providing you're within our area. Most companies won't update you during the campaign. They'll just maybe, if you're lucky, ring you at the end and say they're all done. We will send you weekly reports to keep track of where your leaflets are going. Again, most leaflet distribution companies, if not all, will just recycle any returns they've got back from no junk mails, from no access on maps, and will just recycle all of them. It's far too much effort to put back out into piles and back out on rounds. That is what we do. If you pay for 10,000 leaflets to be delivered, we will deliver 10,000 leaflets, not 9,900, 10,000 leaflets. They go back into the piles and they will go out on other maps. We're not pushy and we don't like to sell. Both Karen and I pride ourselves on our customer relationships and the service we provide to our local companies, big or small. And thankfully, most of our customers feel that way too. You know, we've got some good reviews on Google. We work with our customers closely. Okay, if you're all ready, please mark honestly your quiz answers. So number one, how many customers like receiving door drop product samples, vouchers or offers? It's a whopping 93%. So again, not my surveys. Number two, where was this? This was Slewins Close in Hornchurch, just off Slewins Lane, next to Haynes Park. Number three was other businesses that you should not focus your deliveries into flats. There's just a few: gardeners, driveways, patios, window cleaners, unless you're going to the business owners and you're the window cleaner, and hot tub sellers. It's pretty hard to get a hot tub into the top floor there. Again, unless they've got a wonderful roof garden, in which case go up there, have a look, and then try and sell your hot tubs. I will give you any other firms that are realistically not meant to be targeting flats, but be honest there. Number four, where's that? That is San Francisco. Golden Gate Bridge to the left, Alcatraz Island to there. My favorite of the US cities that I've visited. If you get a chance to go to San Francisco, please go. It's not like LA, it's laid back, but say it is pretty hilly. And number five, so 51,200 households within a 2 mile radius of the YMCA. How many within a 2.5 mile radius? 91,200, so an extra 40,000 just with that extra 1/2 mile radius. those of you that remember your pi r squared for areas of a circle will have got closer to that than those that didn't remember that pi r squared. Okay, tiebreaker, should we need it? 160 meters to walk up Heather Close, so 320 minimum to walk up and down. But that post person walked 850 meters. Again, there are houses on the side in Heather Close, so they're walking a little bit further to go up there. All calculations have been done for that tiebreaker question. So if you do want to know all of the calculations, if you're sad like me, then please email us directly and I will get back to you with all the answers.
Amazing. Thanks, Martin. Really appreciate that. I've got two there. I've got San Francisco right, which I'm super proud of, but also the one about the gardens, one on the stats, I just completely failed on. So hopefully everybody else did well. I'm just conscious of time because everybody needs to get on with their day. So we'll quickly go around. Thank you. That was really good. Really appreciate you doing that, Martin. What we'll do is...
Yeah, if we go around and ask, get people's scores, Chris. And if anyone's got the same, we'll need to find out what their tiebreaker answers are.
Yeah, so Terry's got 2. What we'll do is if we post the answers on the group, then we can do the tiebreakers and work out where we are from there. So thanks for doing that.